So let's talk a bit about within the cuddle world. Let's say we have folks that are conservative, maybe religious, maybe interested in following the law of chastity, and they hear about this and they don't know what to do with it. How is this world compatible with followers of chastity and maybe even assisting them and boosting their efforts?
I love this question. What a great question. How is cuddle party or cuddlist sessions consistent with chastity? And from my point of view and all of my experiences, it is 100% consistent. And not only in that the sessions themselves are not about sexual touch or sexual contact. And even with my cuddlist clients, I say something like, and we're not making out, we're not touching each other under our clothes, we're not going for arousal. If it comes up, we'll move to something that's like a more nurturing position. So not only that part, but by getting to have experiences of touch, you get to notice what you want, what you don't want. You get to practice setting boundaries. You get to practice speaking up. And those are all invaluable because, one of the things that people will say when they don't stick to their moral code, if they've, decided to stay with chastity or whatever else their moral code is that has them not wanting to have a sexual experience, they'll go, oh, I just got caught up in the moment. And it's like this out, and yeah, feelings and everything can come up big. But with the cuddlist work and the cuddle party work, there's such an explicit agreement that it's not going to be sexual that there's a lot of safety to play. I'm curious about your experience.
I would say that is what's important. Like, things are discussed ahead of time. I've been thinking lately, especially with the way things are in the world, what if people set their intentions well ahead of time? I talk about it kind of like a 3 p.m. choice versus a 3 a.m. choice. Like, at 3 p.m., what choices are you wanting to make? That maybe you want to even write down or make a video to yourself, like a coaching video of like, this is what I'm willing to do. And so even if at 3 a.m. you're tired and your choice making muscle is already offline, you've already made the choice. And I think that can be very important. I think of, people trying to adjust their eating habits and just saying it's easier for me to not have Oreos in the house than to try to say no to them late at night when I'm not, willpower is not as effective.
Right. And my guess is that a lot of people that are worried that the cuddle work leads to, promiscuity or more sexual opportunity is that same thing you just said about, well, it's not like having Oreos in the house. You're just tempting yourself. You're just getting close to somebody, and then you're just going to want more closeness. And that's where I come in with what I said earlier, that to have the clear container of, no, it's not going to be sexual, but also to get holding, like, touch is a human need. That's on my business cards, I think. Touch is a human need. We are wired for connection through touch. It lets us know we're safe. It lets us know we belong. It down regulates our nervous system, helps us go into parasympathetic, like, all this good stuff. A lot of the people watching might not. Touch is so good and so healthy. It can relieve chronic pain. It can help with depression and anxiety and so many different things we struggle with. Eating disorders is what I was about to say, but what I meant was insomnia and like sleep disorders. I just wrote a blog post about night terrors and nightmares that my clients have been helped with. So there's so many really positive benefits to feeling touch and connection with another person. And the cuddlist and the cuddle party work lets you do it without crossing over any of the agreements you've made around chastity.
And I've even found, I've probably mentioned this before, but at cuddle party, I've had up to a week of lowered appetite, and I just am not seeking out that like kind of snacking or just, it does feel like true hunger. It's not simply mindless snacking, but it just, I'm not as interested in that. It just feels like I'm more calm and at peace. And
yeah,
why is that not promoted more in the diet world or health and wellness?
right?
Like, if you fill up your love tank, you're not going to be seeking out, filling up your belly instead.
Absolutely. And especially for those of us where our love tank gets filled up through physical touch, which isn't something we have a ton of choice over. Love languages are often things that we're more like, it's just what we're prone to. And maybe it's our environment and our conditioning, but it probably happened before we were like verbal and really new. And also that I love in the book Loneliness, they talk about how everybody's wired for connection, but some people the amount of connection they need before it feels like a satisfying amount of connection is really different, right? For some people, it's like, I got a hug yesterday and I'm good for a week. And for some people, it's like, oh my gosh, I want to cuddle for hours every day. And, those are big extremes. But for someone who has a higher set point that they need more touch and holding to feel loved and safe and calm in their bodies, I love that we have this work, the cuddle party work, the cuddlist work. It's such a great way to get those needs met in a really safe container. And it's really explicitly non-sexual, which means you also don't have to, not only is it like for morals and chastity and monogamy and all that stuff, but it's also for things like STDs and pregnancy. Like none of these are on the table. None of these are issues. You can get your touch needs met. You can learn what you like and what you don't like without all of the complications that come with sex.
And I don't know if this is known yet by the cuddlists, but since in a lot of the church communities, issues with people using pornography that they wish they were not using but can't seem to stop, I would say maybe that's like Oreos. And I wonder if cuddling is like a plant-based protein drink that helps you be able to say no to the Oreos, even if they are
That
in
is such a good point. If somebody has Oreos in my house, I'm not actually that interested in them. And I've got my like local organic, diet of yumminess.
And so I think,
So
I mean,
I think that's very true. I've talked to my daughters about this as well. Sorry, I'm just going to jump in because it's such a fun topic that our pop culture, or the popular culture is the fast food of sexuality. And we value this like local, organic, slower food diet. And there's a lot there that pop culture does not share around sexuality that's really nourishing. And Cuddlist, while non-sexual, can help you learn what nourishes you and what slow, fulfilling touch feels like. So you're not just going to McDonald's all the time.
and hopefully most of us know the health benefits of the whole food organic diet, both literally and figuratively. Or hopefully we know it more literally and we can learn about it more figuratively through discussions like this.
Absolutely. Larysa, this has been so fun. I hope we get to talk about it some more.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and bringing this to the world.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for hanging in there through all of the pandemic, everything else, to still be offering this work. Thank you.
Thank you.